Hello everyone, welcome to this month's episode of North Central Outdoors. I'm your host, Nathan Karch. This episode is going to be dedicated all about boating etiquette. So we touched on boat ramp etiquette last month. This month we're going to talk about boating etiquette just as a whole. So last month was basically concentrated to when you were launching your boat or taking out. This one's going to be more focused on when you're out on the lake and kind of simple things that you can do to make your time out there more pleasurable, and then others as well. So this is going to be episode 2 of our boating etiquette segments, and we hope you get some beneficial information out of it. So we're going to just dive on in. I normally can break this down into about 10 different bullet points. So I'm going to go ahead and get into those. The first one being, know the rules and regulations of the waterways. Educate yourself and familiarize yourself with all the state rules and regulations, all the state laws that pertain to boating. There's a lot of different information sources that you can go ahead and get that. You can download our app at TWRA on the go. It's a free app. If you don't have it, I highly encourage you to get that. It's full of all kinds of beneficial and useful information. We got, other than just boating, we've got hunting, fishing, and then we've got the sunset and sunrise tables, which will help you out on the water to know when you need to turn on your navigation lights. So go ahead and download that, and then also you can just go to our website. You can click on tn.gov, and then in the information box put on TWRA boating laws and regs, and you kind of just Google it from there and search all kinds of the common laws. But familiarize yourself with those before you hit the water if you're not already familiar with those laws, because there's a lot of laws to know out there. So that's kind of the prerequisite before you get into the 10 bullet points of boating etiquette once you're out on the waterways. But when you get out there, the very first thing you're going to want to do is watch your wake. That's very, very important. The easiest way to anger somebody right off the bat is to go ahead and just wake them to death. Their boat's just rocking back and forth. They might hit their head on something. Stuff comes loose and unstowed. Don't want to do that. You're responsible for your wake when you're out there. And if you're plowing, just be mindful, you're throwing a very big wake, regardless of what kind of boat you're in, or even jet skis. Jet skis throw fairly large wakes when they're plowing. And plowing just kind of means you're almost at a 45-degree angle, your bow is up in the air, and you can look behind you and see that there's a very large wake. So this kind of comes into effect when you're in close proximity to other boats, other people's docks, and personal belongings. If you are anywhere next to a commercial marina or anything like that, make sure that you're not throwing a wake. If it is not deemed a no-wake zone, it's basically, it's common knowledge that is going to be deemed a no-wake zone. It's just common courtesy that you slow to an idle no-wake speed until you pass by, and then you can get back up on plane. So definitely watch your wake. Next, keep the peace out there. And what I mean by that is a lot of people have these crazy loud sound systems on their boats. A lot of these boats nowadays, they come equipped with the highest, most quality sound packages on the market. That being said, that's awesome if you're by yourself or kind of tucked away in a cove. But if you have multiple boats around kind of enjoying their time, don't broadcast your music all the way across the lake. Nobody else needs to hear that but you. Listen to it at a reasonable volume. We see this all the time in these party coves, which that's fine, because people go there to party, and that's what they want. But in some of these more relaxed, quiet coves, people don't want that, and they don't take kindly to that. A lot of people just want to be out there with no music, just enjoying their surroundings. So keep the volume to a minimum, or a reasonable volume, what you can enjoy and what you can listen to, but don't blow it out of proportion. The next thing is bad language, excessive swearing and stuff like that. If you go to the party coves, it's kind of to be expected. But if you're out there and you got children, or you see children and they're not with you, you know, keep that to a very minimum, or don't do it at all, because you know, you want to be a good role model and everything, and a good boater out there, and it's just common courtesy and respectful to do so. So if you want to do all that, go into a party cove. Don't go into a nice, quiet, relaxed cove with families that are present, just trying to relax and have a good time. And the next thing, we know that all these boats, they have really nice engines and stuff like that, and they're sometimes loud. Sometimes the exhaust is ported above the water line, and they make a really nice sound. I like the sound of most boats, especially, you know, these cigarette boats and stuff like that. But there's a time and a place to show off those things. You got a nice boat, we know you want to show it off. It's all in good fun, but there's a time and a place. So if you're around just a lot of people, relaxing family environment, as I stated before, or you're around a marina or anything like that, or it's after hours, keep that to a minimum, please. People will like you so much more. So overall, just keep the peace. Next, take your trash with you. Carry it in, carry it out. And I would even go as far to say is pick up somebody else's trash while you're out there as well. This is a working ecosystem. We've got a big fisheries environment. You know, there's tons and tons of birds that rely on this ecosystem as well. There's just all kinds of different things functioning as one. And when we throw trash into the lake and stuff like that, we're killing off a lot of stuff, and we're polluting our waterways, and it could potentially degrade a lot of the quality and stuff like that. So you pick up your trash. You know, there's all kinds of trash cans out there at boat ramps. You could go to a marina if you wanted to offload some of the trash. They've got dumpsters and trash cans and things of that nature. Just pick up after yourself. That should be pretty self-explanatory. Next, check your speed. Watch your speed as you're out there on the waterways. Most Tennessee waterways, we don't have any speed limits or anything like that. Other states do. We don't. That being said, there is a safe speed in which to operate. There are a lot of laws restricting speed limits, one being just reckless operation. So if you're in an area that's highly trafficked with boaters and stuff like that, you don't want to be swerving in and out of them or operating at a reckless speed. There's a safe operational speed to which you need to operate at. So check your speed. Also, if it's at night, you know, tone it down a notch, because your visibility is restricted. There's not a whole lot of ambient light out there on the lake, and you know, a lot of these lakes have a lot of hazards, especially here on Old Hickory, which we're at today. If you don't stick to that main channel, you're liable to be on a sandbar or a rock or into a buoy or a private dock, you name it. So make sure that you watch your speed and you're operating at a safe speed. Next, know your lake that which you're going on. Know the navigable waterways, and know the potential hazards that you could potentially face out there on the waterways. Again, we're on Old Hickory, and as I previously stated, there's all kinds of potential hazards out there that you could get yourself into a very dangerous situation. Other lakes, they're very, very deep anywhere you go. Norris Lake, Dale Hollow Lake, they're very deep lakes, very clear lakes. You will probably see a hazard pretty quickly if there is one. But some of these more shallow river systems and stuff like that, the Cumberland River system, a lot of hazards. So know your lake. There's all kinds of apps. Some are free, some are not, but most are beneficial, that you can download that will help you know these lakes better, know the topography. One that I highly recommend that we utilize on all of our patrol boats, and that I have on my phone even when I go personally, and my Humminbird and Garmin units, is Navionics. Navionics is very, very beneficial to have. It tells you all the topography of the waterways, and you're going to know where to operate and where not to operate. So go ahead and download that. If you don't want Navionics, there's all kinds of other ones that you can look at. There's Wave, iBoating, CMap, to name a few. So look into that. Just know that information is there if you want it, and it's very, very beneficial. Next, if you're filling up or you're eating at a marina, make sure if you go to the fueling docks, just fill up with gas and go ahead and go about your business. Don't park there for an extended period of time. If you are eating at a marina, make sure that you go to the courtesy dock. Don't park at the fueling dock unless it's after hours and they don't have any more gas. Then if the marina says it's okay, absolutely go for it. But all the time, just go to the courtesy dock, and I see it all the time as well. Don't take up a tremendous amount of space with your boat. If there's already a boat there, maybe just ease up to the back or the front of it and park right in front or the back of it. Don't create this huge gap where another boat couldn't get in. It may look huge, but it's still small enough where another boat couldn't fit in. So don't take up a normal amount of space when you're using the courtesy dock, and just leave enough room. That way, if your party or the other party leaves first, that they have enough room to get out. Next, and this is very, very important, as we've seen it a ton over the past couple years with COVID and everything. We've had more boaters than ever, new boaters, and they're just not too familiar with the lake. They're not too familiar with waterborne environments and just how to operate. We realize that there's a lot of information out there to educate themselves, but not everybody does that. So it's always a good practice to extend a helping hand, offer to help someone. If you see them struggling, don't just, swear under your breath and point fingers or laugh at them or, just turn your back to them. Go offer to help them. Everybody was a first-time boater at some point in their life, and they've struggled a little bit. I'm guilty of it. I was a first-time boater at some point. I've struggled in the past several times, and I did have some very, very nice people to offer to extend a helping hand, and I remember those instances, and you will remember those as well. So just be mindful that people don't know what they're doing, and if they are struggling, just be the change that you want to see. If you're like, oh, they could have done this so much more efficiently, or they need to be doing it this way, well, let them know about it, but do it in a kind manner. Don't just critique them the whole way. That's no way to be as a human being. And I promise you'll probably make a good friend, and they will appreciate you for the rest of their days. So just always offer to extend a helping hand. Next, stow your stuff. When you're out there on the waterways, make sure that it is secure on your boat. You're going to be experiencing a lot of waves, wind, and there's just a lot of different instances where stuff could come unstowed and maybe hit one of your occupants, hit you, fly out, you lose your gear, and then it becomes another hazard for another boater. They might run it over, damage their prop or their boat. So make sure that you got all your stuff tied down, stowed away, and I promise it's going to be better for everybody. And then finally, and most importantly, not really, but have a good time and wave. Everybody out there on the lake, they are some of the most, I don't know, they just love to be out there. They're some of the best people in the world, some of the friendliest people in the world, and everybody loves to wave. You don't know them from Adam, but everybody waves. So if they don't wave to you first, go ahead and extend them a wave. Everybody's out there to have a good time, and they're just going to enjoy it. So that's it for this month's episode of boating etiquette. This kind of concludes and finalizes our boating etiquette topic. This is going to be number 2 of 2 segments. We had the last one last month on boat ramp etiquette. Hope everybody took away something from all of this. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. If you're one of those that's been practicing this the whole time, thank you. We appreciate you. We've taken notice. And if you're not, if you're a first-time boater, practice these things, and I promise you will have a much smoother, stress-free experience out there. You're going to be confident, and you're just going to have a good time. So everybody, get out there, go boating, have fun, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.